Today, we're diving into a topic that's been coming up a lot lately, and I think many real estate agents are seeing it today as well. Deals falling apart before closing. What does that look like? Home comes up on the market, sellers have some interest, the seller accepts the best offer for them, even after vetting the lender, title work gets started, home inspections are performed, even sometimes the appraisal is already done, and then the deal falls through. I've seen fantastic offers on great homes with great financing options get derailed. It's frustrating for everybody involved, buyers, sellers, and the agent. In today's video, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. You see, there are ways to navigate this and achieve a smooth, successful transaction at the end. Like I've always said, if you already have some knowledge going into the real estate transaction, that's going to help you navigate through the sales process. So grab a notebook, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into why deals fall through and what you can do to make sure yours closes with a bang. Hey everybody, Wanda Zelaya here with RLAH Properties. So let's get started. Let's talk about the biggest culprit when it comes to deals falling through: financing fumbles. We've all heard of pre-approval, that initial step that gets you excited about how much house you can afford, but pre-approval is kind of like the first date. It shows potential, but it doesn't guarantee a happily ever after. To truly secure your home, you need a full loan commitment. There's a timeline stipulated for this in the contract. This is the financial contingency, the maximum amount of days that your lender needs to be able to commit to your loan. Typically, this takes about 21 to 28 days from time of ratification of contract. Think of it like an official proposal from your lender. A loan commitment from your lender typically means that the loan has already gone to underwriting, sometimes more than once. Some lenders will put the loan file into their underwriters even before pre-approving you for a loan. What does that mean to you? That means that the lender is doing serious work up front to make sure your pre-approval is as approved as it can be. So if I'm the listing agent and I've received an offer that my seller is interested in taking, I would call up the buyer's lender and ask them, how good are those finances? If the lender tells me that the buyer's file has already gone to underwriting even before being under contract, that is a huge green light to me that this deal has a better chance of making it to the finish line. Now, life throws curveballs sometimes. Buyer, maybe your credit score dipped a little bit because of a medical bill you weren't expecting, or there's some shifting occurring at work. That can throw a wrench in the financing gears. That's why clear communication with your lender is key. If anything unexpected pops up, let them know right away. They can help you navigate any potential roadblocks and keep your financing on solid ground. And yes, there are many times where you may just have to extend that financial contingency a couple of days, as long as both buyer and seller agree. What else can you do as a buyer? You may have heard this before, but when you're buying a home, especially while you're under contract, you don't switch jobs, you don't buy a car, you don't go on spending sprees, you don't lend anyone money, and you don't go and buy stocks. Doing any of these things will jeopardize your lender's chance of giving you a loan commitment. Your loan can and will be denied if you do any of these things. Most lenders will warn you about it, but others won't. So just make sure you work in tandem with your lender and avoid these mistakes anywhere throughout a home purchase transaction. All right, let's talk about those hidden costs that can lurk around the corner when buying a house, and those are closing costs. They can feel like a surprise bill. These fees can add up quickly, so getting a detailed breakdown up front is essential. On almost all of my videos, I insist that you buyers get an itemization worksheet from your lender. It's not just the down payment, that's just one part of the equation. Closing costs are other fees associated with the purchase of your home. Your lender can and should give you a full breakdown and give you close to accurate numbers on this. By knowing exactly what closing costs you'll face, you can avoid any financial surprises down the road. Also, this is still a seller's market. Long are the days where sellers were giving you, the buyer, up to 3% closing cost help. So it's up to you to bring your closing costs to the table. Now, home inspections are a crucial step in the home buying process, but they can sometimes uncover unexpected repairs. Don't worry, a leaky faucet or a drafty window shouldn't send you running for the hills, but it's important to factor in these potential costs when setting your budget post-settlement. That way, you won't be hit with a financial shock if the inspector reveals some minor issues. By preparing for these hidden issues, you can turn that initial surprise into a confident, let's get this fixed, and move smoothly with the purchase. Most first-time home buyers and even experienced buyers are frightened by the home inspection report, and I always like to have a preemptive talk with them. If you are buying a retail home, you are going to find things. There are going to be issues. It's the difference between buying a used car and buying a new car. This used home is going to have some miles on it. Things are not going to be brand new or under warranty. There will be issues. Now, what you have to do is make sure that the issues in the house are not deal breakers. Leaky faucet, easy fix. Some outlets not working, no GFI in the bathroom or in the kitchen. All of this can be taken care of for a reasonable amount of money. If the home inspection doesn't have any red flags, I tell my buyers this: nothing in the report is a deal breaker. Now, before you move in, or even during the first couple of months, get a contractor to slowly fix the items that worry you the most on your inspection report. I also suggest they don't blow $5,000 in buying new furniture if there are important items for you on an inspection report that you want to take care of. So just budget for those little things that you may have to fix. Now, if you want to move into a home and not worry about repairs, then new home construction is the way to go. But know that this is definitely the more expensive route. So just make sure you budget for some minor repairs and fixes when buying a resale home. I also don't like working with home inspectors that are sensationalists and totally blow the home inspection way out of proportion and fill the report with words that are confusing and scary to the buyer, like this must be fixed, and it really doesn't. Again, going back to the GFI outlet in the kitchen or the bathroom. If you're buying an older home, that GFI outlet wasn't written in the code back then, but now it is. Does that mean that this home is now unlivable or that you need to pull out of the contract because there's no GFI where it needs to be? No, you can take care of this yourself later on. It's not a big deal, not a deal breaker for the purchase of this home. You're also probably not going to find a seller that's going to add that GFI outlet for you to a home that he's selling. So again, budget for these things once the house is yours. As a homeowner, you are going to make additions. You're going to make changes. Remember, perfect houses don't exist. Even brand new homes are going to have issues. Okay, let's talk about that all-important document, the sales contract. It might seem intimidating, but trust me, it's your friend. Now, I know contracts can get a little dry, but understanding those terms and deadlines is crucial for both buyer and seller. These aren't just lines of legality. They're there to protect the parties, but mostly the buyer. See, in a real estate transaction, the buyer is taking on a lot of risk. The buyer is putting down earnest money, investing time and energy into the process, paying for inspections, paying for appraisals, all with the hope of getting to that closing table and securing that home. The seller, on the other hand, still has their asset, the house, that can potentially be sold to somebody else. That's why the contract is heavily weighed to protect the rights of the buyer. It outlines contingencies like the home inspection that allows the buyer to back out if something major pops up. It also sets clear deadlines for things like financing and appraisals. But with great power comes great responsibility. Don't take those protections for granted. Buyer, read the contract carefully, understand what each clause means, and don't hesitate to ask your agent to clarify anything that seems fuzzy. Make sure, buyer, that you do your due diligence throughout the entire process. Remember, ignorance of the contract isn't an excuse. If you back out for a reason not outlined in the contingencies, you could lose your earnest money deposit. It's not unheard of that sellers go after the earnest money deposit of buyers that breach the sales contract. So take some time, understand your rights and responsibilities, and don't be afraid to ask questions. By familiarizing yourself with the contract, you can ensure a smooth and secure buying experience. So sellers, how about you? The contract protects you too. Know that if you feel that the buyer is not collaborating or there are too many extensions to the closing timeline and you want to be done with them, talk to your listing agent as well. The sales contract has mechanisms that you'll be able to deploy should you want to void the buyer's contract if that's ultimately what you want to do. But know that sometimes it's worth extending settlement for a couple of days rather than voiding the contract, wait for the contract to be released, put the home back on the market, and now have to start all over again. So play your cards right, seller. Sometimes it's worth the settlement extension than the other option of relisting your home. Because who knows if the next buyer has more issues than this buyer you have right now. Okay, buyers, here's a quick recap of what we've talked about. Don't settle for a pre-approval handshake. See if your lender extra qualifies your loan by sending it to underwriting before you start making offers. It's advantageous to you, and also the listing agent and seller will be more comfortable taking your offer knowing this. Closing costs, taxes, insurance, HOA fees, they all add up. Be honest with yourself and factor these extras into your budget before diving in. And ask your lender for an itemization worksheet. Keep your lender and agent in the know about everything, big or small. Transparency is key for a smooth closing. Don't be afraid of the sales contract. Take the time to understand every clause before signing on the dotted line. Minor issues are normal, but prioritize what matters. Work with your inspector to find solutions, not reasons to run for the hills. Remember, perfect houses don't exist. For you listing agents, only work with pre-approved buyers. It saves everyone time and stress. Make sure you call the lender and ask questions. Hard ones. You need to know that this offer has a great shot to make it to the closing table. If an offer is too good to be true, unless it's cash offer, it probably is. Disclose everything about the property up front. Honesty builds trust and speeds up the process. Be the communication champion. Keep buyers, sellers, and lenders all on the same page. And please, agents, play nice. Be that agent that everyone wants to do a deal with. Don't be the evil agent on the other side of the transaction giving everyone heartburn. It's unprofessional and ultimately can and will hurt your business. Your reputation is everything in the business. Keep yours intact. Set realistic timelines and adjust potential roadblocks before they pop up. A smooth ride for everyone. And everyone gets to smile and celebrate around the closing table. At the end of the day, that's the best way to bring a transaction to a close. So that's all I have for you today on why deals fall apart and how you, as buyers, sellers, and agents, can navigate a smooth transaction. Of course, there are times where nothing can be done on a deal that's derailing, but it doesn't have to be that way. Remember, knowledge and preparedness is crucial and the key to achieving a successful closing. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home and want an agent who prioritizes clear communication and a smooth transaction, reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you navigate the real estate journey. Remember that 100% of homes listed with me have sold, and I plan to keep that record going. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more valuable real estate content, and remember, happy house hunting and selling.